What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Elder Podcast. My name is Bri Dupree, aka the Elder, and I'm so glad you came to join us for this episode where we are talking about all things embracing your process, life, ministry, and everything in between. All right. So the last episode we started talking about my story. I was talking about how I really want to ensure that if we're going to talk about some difficult topics on here, which I'm not afraid to deal with and kind of make sure that we can really map out and have good conversation about. I think it's important that you kind of know the framework and kind of understand where I'm coming from. And so I feel like this is a big conversation, a big just family chat, if you will. And so I hope you are just turning this on, listening to it while you're cleaning your house or doing something. And I would love to interact with you in the comments as well. If you didn't listen to the first part, then go ahead and do that. The last part, I was just really talking about how I had this encounter with God that really began to change me, but how also in that same time, I was trying to figure out what it meant to actually embrace community for real. Okay. So that's middle school. Let's move forward. I go to high school. I go to a Christian high school. Had a great time, had great friends. Again, it's a small Christian high school. Loved my time there. Really, the Lord really started to develop in me some leadership skills and things that I didn't realize I had. And He really started developing me a genuine love for people. Like I just got to this point where like I really liked talking to people, but not only talking to them, I really liked listening to them. And it was something that just came to me very, it just felt very natural. It was like, and I didn't realize that it was such a weird thing to have until friends of mine were like, Bri, like you just listened to me for an hour. And it didn't even feel like an hour. I just felt like, man, I enjoy hearing people out, because I felt like sometimes when people are talking things out, you can hear a lot more of their process than when they're actually dealing with it, right? When I'm talking things out, or when I'm listening to someone talk things out, I'm able to kind of begin to connect dots for them, okay? So that's really my high school experience. Got super involved with student government, got super involved with anything that had to do with people or anything. I was super involved. I'm an extrovert, so I was just living my best life in high school, had a great high school time. And then it came time for me to obviously start applying to colleges my senior year. I'm applying to colleges, and I remember, you guys remember AOL, like IM or whatever it was called, Instant Messenger. So I use it all the time when I would get home from school. I would just be talking with my friends, and I feel like I just dated myself, but I'm talking to my friends on it, and I'm talking to one of my friends in particular, and we're talking about our plans post high school. And she says, Bri, what do you think you want to do? Like, what do you want to major in when you go to college? And I had all kinds of things I was thinking about. And I said, I think maybe, I think maybe I'll go into like something maybe that has to do with ministry. The reason why I said that was not because I felt called to pastor. I said that because all of my like youth pastors, all of my like youth leaders at that time were super supportive. I mean, they were some of the best youth pastors, youth leaders I've ever had, especially in my high school time. They were very present for me, and I was like, I just want to be present for people. That's the first thing that came to my mind, because again, if you watch the first episode, I feel like my sister and I feel like we were born in the pews. Okay, we're born in the pews, and so I'm in this space where I'm just like, I just want to help people, and I feel like that might be the good way to do it. My friend then begins to type out. She was like, "Oh, well, my dad says that women can't be in ministry," and I said, "Really?" Again, this is just me being super naive. I'm no theologian. I just go to church. I have female pastors in my church. I have female youth leaders. My aunt was a pastor, so female leaders wasn't not a thing for me. But she said, yeah, my dad said you can't be a female and be in ministry. And I said, okay, well then I said, I'll just go into counseling. I mean, I said it that quick. Like it wasn't a debate. Like she sent me some scriptures and stuff. I guess her dad had shouldered and it just wasn't a debate for me. I was like, I just want to help people. And if me being a pastor is not biblical, then whatever. I just want to help people. And as quick as I said, I just let it go. And so I said, okay, I'm going to go to Cedarville for psychology. I think, as I was thinking through it more, I was like, you know what? Psychology is probably more of a reputable, major choice anyway, because, I don't know how much money you get paid in ministry, and I want to make good money. So I was like, and I can get paid just listening to people, and I like listening to people. So I was like, man, I can get paid just to sit on a couch and listen to other people lay on the couch. And just, I had those ideas, right, you have from like movies and television shows. So I can sit there and listen to people for hours and get paid like change upon change every hour. And so I graduated from my high school, and I went to Cedarville University in Cedarville, Ohio. It's this small Southern Baptist university that literally you drive from the airport, from the Dayton airport, and it's like cornfield, and out of nowhere, this school pops up. We have this moment where I'm going to the school. I had interviewed there. I had visited there, and I really fell in love with it very quick. I just fell in love with the people. And even though it wasn't really like my cup of tea, so a little background on me, like I grew up in a small Black Pentecostal church, and here I am going to a predominantly white Southern Baptist church, or Southern Baptist school, I'm sorry. And so, but really, again, most of the schools I had gone to were predominantly white evangelical Christian schools. And so I really felt like I would be fine. I felt like I would be okay in that school. I felt like I would, I'm not someone who just wanted to like randomly start like speaking in tongues. And I'm like, I can function here. And so my college days were incredible as a student. I loved every ounce of my college experience. Again, got involved in student government, got involved with student organizations, had friends, like committed friends, joined the gospel choir where I met some of my best friends to this day, some of my greatest mentors to this day. Just had a great time in college, and the Lord really used that college experience to do a whole lot on the inside of me. And so I get to my senior year. And my senior year, I really was focused not on the right things. Like I was focused on, when I say not on the right things, it wasn't like I wasn't out there partying or anything, but I was like this Miss Social Butterfly, right? So like, I was like, it's my senior year. I want to hang out with my friends. I want to go to late night movies. I want to go to, we had like an Applebee's that was near us. We go to Applebee's for like the late night appetizers. Like I just want to hang out with my friends. I want to do social events. I'm serving on student government. And I get to a point where my grades started to suffer, and I also started to suffer mentally, emotionally, physically. I was just trying to do too much. And I remember it was a Christmas break of my senior year, and I remember getting a call from one of the administrators who was overseeing our student government. I was the student relations director, it was my job to be kind of the student representative, for students of color, international students, students with disabilities, just to help them feel comfortable and make sure that all of our events that we did in student government was a safe place for these different student groups. And so I'm serving in that capacity, loving that capacity, but you have to have a certain GPA in order to keep that position. And when my report card came out, or even that's what they call it, when my grades came out in college at that senior year, my first semester, they were not pretty. And so my administrator, he calls me and pretty much says like, hey, Bri, we really think you need to take a step back from student government. Like your grades are not the best. You need to focus on those. And so I'm like embarrassed, devastated, but also realizing like, Bri, like you've been depressed. You've not been handled. Like I was allowing all the stuff of life kind of had fallen on me, right? I was having fun with my friends, but I also had like school stuff going on. I'm thinking about post-grad. And so I had fallen into like a depression. I got super sick. So this depression had come on me. So I remember I walk into my mom's room and I knock on the door and I just say like, the typical like dramatic kid thing to say, like, would you love me any less if I wasn't on student government and I had bad grades? I just like start bawling, right? And of course my mom's response was like, of course I would love you less. Like, and she's like trying to get me to calm down. I tell her kind of what went on. She said, you need to calm down. She said, you need to go, when you go back, you need to focus on your grades. And she said, if you need to stay another year, another semester, then your dad and I would do what we can to help you stay that time. So, I like feel this like sense of relief, but also kind of this embarrassment because I got to go back to school. I'm not like Bri who was on like SGA anymore, like Student Government Association. I'm Bri who, got kicked off. And they didn't announce it, but it's like, it's embarrassing because people know that it's because of your grades. And so anyway, I meet with my advisor for psychology, and she was like, Bri, listen, she said, I've never said this before, but she said, all of your electives are in Bible. She said, normally I don't tell people to switch their major so late in the game, but she said, and I had told her what my mom said about being able to stay a year. She said, if you're able to stay like maybe even another semester or another year, she said, I think you could graduate with a Bible degree and have a pretty good GPA. She was like, just look at your transcript. And she was right. My psych courses I did okay in, but my Bible electives, I mean, A's, A pluses, B's, B pluses. I don't think I had any grade under a B, or below a B rather, in any of my Bible electives. And so after I left her office, I went to the dean of the Bible department, told her my situation as well. And within like an hour, I had switched my major to Bible. Everything, my whole schedule was laid out for the next year. And I was like, who changes their major their senior year? I do. I changed my major my senior year. And so I'm in this moment, and I call my mom and I'm telling her what happened, and she's just quiet on the phone because I know what she's thinking. Like, okay, you changed your major to ministry. What does that mean? What does that mean for your future? You're about to graduate. She had all the concerning things that a mother would say to a daughter who made a very, what felt like brash decision in the moment without like talking to anyone really for counsel outside of my, academic advisors. And so, but she said, okay, she said, we'll figure this out. And I explained to her like, hey, if I have a bachelor's, I can get a master's anywhere if I want to continue my studying, in other places, but this just seemed like the best option for me. And so my mom was very careful because I think she was very concerned about even just my like mental and emotional health. And so, she chose her words very carefully and said, okay, we'll talk more about it, but, go ahead and go to class and do what you got to do. So the next day I walk into my classes, and it's like all of my like close friends are in these Bible classes. And I forgot, because, when you're in college, you're not really talking about like what major you have with your friends and stuff. You're just doing life with them, right? And so I just been doing life with them, and I forgot. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot you're in this class. It was like, I can't really express to you. It was like I had just stepped into destiny. Again, I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm really trying to tell you how I felt. Like, I was like, oh, I belong here. Like, these are like my people. This is my space. And the content of the classes, I was soaking it up. Like, I loved going to class. Hardly ever missed a class. I love everything about my assignments. I'm a terrible test taker, terrible quiz taker, but you give me a book and tell me to read it and then write a paper, I can do that all day. And that's all you do. And if you are watching this and you've been in seminary or you've been a Bible student, you know that you read a whole lot of books and you write a lot of papers. There's rarely a test or an exam. And I love that. I love, like, this is right where I'm supposed to be. So I felt this like assurance in my spirit, still not knowing what that meant, to be quite honest with you. I had talked to different ministries and thought about doing like urban ministry full time, moving to like inner city Philly and serving the community there. I had options galore, but I never really thought about doing like full time ministry in the sense of like being on staff at a church or anything like that. I said, I think maybe I'll just do like I said, inner city ministry, or like maybe like women's ministry. Maybe I help out with a women's organization here and there. And there are a bunch of nonprofits in Ohio that had reached out to me. So I was thinking about serving with them. And I was kind of in the space where I just was so excited about the classes that I was in. And I was like, I got a whole year to figure it out. So I was a 5th year senior. And I'm a 5th year senior. I'm in this space where I'm just like, okay, this feels good, but I have no clue what the future's going to look like. Like, I have no clue what's going to happen post grad. And you're going to have to come back for the next episode to hear about what happened post grad. I want to keep these semi short, and so I don't want to keep going. But I promise you, if you come back for the next episode, you're going to hear exactly what happened post grad for me, and how God opened up some ridiculous doors, and how He also shut some doors, and some of the pain and process I went through. And I really think this next portion of my story is going to help you understand a whole lot about why I do the work that I do right now. I think I talked about it in the intro episode with the Embrace Collective, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's just stop there. I'm a 5th year senior. changed my major my senior year from psychology to what was called comprehensive Bible. I'm about to graduate. What do I do next? I'll see you next episode.